It's make or break for Arsenal today. A massive game. Wigan versus Arsenal at Wembley Stadium. It's the FA Cup semi-final. It's the game we've all been waiting for as Arsenal fans for so long now. We're back at Wembley and it's so exciting. But, like I said at the start, it is kind of a make or break game. And to me, it's actually a final. You know, we just cannot afford to lose this game. But in the background, you're going to see a simmed match between the two teams. I'm hoping that FIFA will do Arsenal justice and we should, and I say should, get a comfortable win today, and it should be the same in this FIFA match. The lineup is, we have Ramsey and Oxlade playing as the two central midfielders, which I think is the possible lineup tonight. I've had a little look around on the internet. Eventually I couldn't find anything reliable, so I asked you guys on Twitter, and there was a few Arsenal accounts who said that the lineup would be a 4-2-3-1 like normal, because obviously Wenger doesn't like to change tactics that much. You'll see the lineup in a second. Here's Wigan's, by the way. Obviously it's completely random. I wasn't able to edit that myself. But if I was to say my lineup, I wouldn't play Giroud. I would play Sanogo. Fabianski should definitely be in goal, I think. Defensively, I'm happy to say that Gibbs is looking like he's back, so he would definitely go straight in the team. We do have to use Vermaelen. Obviously, it's not our preferred choice with Koscielny there, but he is out. Here is the lineup that we're using in this game. So Fabianski in goal, Sanya, Mertesacker, Vermaelen and Gibbs. And you can see the pivot in the middle there. Ramsey, Oxlade, Rosicky out the right, Podolski on the left, Cazorla in the middle and Giroud up front. Although, like I said, I would play Sanogo, and the pure reason for that is just because he has energy. He will run around, and, you know, no disrespect to Wigan, but they're a championship side, and we should be winning these matches, even with our backup squad, if you know what I mean. And I think, although Sanogo isn't exactly experienced, I think he could cause problems for Wigan tonight. And he's not necessarily playing for goals, if you know what I mean. I would play him because he creates a lot of space for other players to run into. He drags the defenders out of positions. And players like, you know, Ramsey, when he does push forward, Cazorla, Podolski, they can all find little pockets of space and potentially score some goals. Look at that, Podolski's won the ball already. Brilliant stuff there. So what kind of performance am I hoping for? Well, firstly, I want confidence back because obviously we just come off the really embarrassing loss at Everton. You know what? It wasn't even embarrassing. It was beyond embarrassing because we shouldn't be losing games like that. But there is a stat that I've read where 20 out of 40 goals that we've conceded in the league this year are against the top 4 teams away. It says a lot, doesn't it? We lost 6-0 at Chelsea, 6-3 at Man City, we lost 5-1 at Liverpool, and we've lost 3-0 at Everton. It's just not good enough. So I'm hoping tonight we can, again, always saying this at the moment, get that bounce back. That kind of performance that we're kind of known for. We have a tough game, but we bounce back. And that's what Arsenal have always been able to do, especially in the last 9 years where we haven't won any trophies. We seem to have disappointments year after year, but we bounce back. But, you know, bouncing back is great if you can actually bounce back and win something. And this, finally, is the year where we've got this opportunity. Here's Cazorla on the right wing. Can he get anything going here? Across into Giroud. Oh, what a start that would have been. El Habsi, what a save. I remember that dude saving so many shots when they played in the Premier League last year. And I'm hoping he's not going to have a good game tonight. Kickoff is at 5:07. You're probably thinking, why? Why is it 5:07? Every game today is kicking off 7 minutes late because of the Hillsborough disaster, which is obviously something that maybe a lot of the younger audience watching this might not understand. So do feel free to Google that or, you know, read into it yourselves because it's an awful, awful event that happened many, many years ago, probably when you were very young. And to mark respect of that, every game today is kicking off 7 minutes late. So yeah, 5:07 tonight. And Ramsey's through here. What the hell was that? That was a great block by the defenders. Oh, we're going to score here. Yes! Giroud has scored 31 minutes in. Oh, I'd love that. I would absolutely love that to happen. So how would Wigan win? Right, it's a difficult one because they've got to, obviously, they've got to be defending a lot. Let's face it, Arsenal are going to have the ball the majority of the game. And, you know, things like what you've just seen here will be happening. We'll be getting chances, we'll be getting crosses in for Giroud. And they're going to have to defend very well and just hit us on the counter-attack. Now, what they should do, if they've, like, you know, done their research, which I'm sure every manager would have done, they would have known that Arsenal struggle when, you know, when the match kicks off and the other team just completely, you know, off the first few seconds, just straight at you, put all the pressure on your defence. That's an awkward smile from Giroud there. And I think that, you know, that's obviously when Liverpool destroyed us 5-1. we saw exactly what happens when you put pressure on Arsenal really early on in the match. And I think that's what we're going to have to do to win here. Now, one of the positives of this match already is obviously Ramsey's back, Gibbs is back. Next week we get Ozil back and Koscielny as well. So we're getting some of our key players back. Obviously, Walcott will not be back this season at all. Oh my God, Wigan are actually going to score here, aren't they? No, they're not. Oh, Fabianski, great save. So that is good news. Obviously, you could say that Arsenal have struggled this season towards the end because of injuries, when actually I disagree. I think we've just fallen apart, lost confidence, but injuries certainly don't help. So it's great that we're getting a couple back. And, in the final of the FA Cup, we should see Ozil playing, we should see Koscielny, we should see, hopefully, a fully fit Arsenal squad, except from Walcott, which is absolutely fantastic. That is half-time, by the way, 1-0 to Arsenal. I'm pretty happy with that. I would actually take that. And let's see what happens in the second half. So there is the half-time stats. 4 shots, 4 on target for Arsenal, and a massive 68% possession. And obviously with Wigan, 1 shot, 1 on target, and only 32%, which is pretty low. But that is probably quite realistic there. I think Arsenal are looking at the high 50s at least in possession, maybe even the early 60s, and we should be getting some shots on target. I think that's one of the problems we've had recently. We don't get enough shots on target. We're not clinical enough. We don't put our chances away, and hopefully we can do that tonight at Wembley, which would be fantastic. This is actually one of the most exciting matches I've seen in a while, because I genuinely feel like this is our year to finally win that trophy. Now, that doesn't mean this season's been fine. It doesn't mean we've had an improvement, because I don't think we have. I think we had a fantastic start to the season. We led the table for 128 days. But all of that, to me, is just worthless. It's gone. Because of we've had such a collapse that it feels like that didn't even happen. But I guess, I'm kind of wrong in a way. You've got to look at that as a positive and say, but we didn't do that last year or the year before that. We have made an improvement. So I want to make this into a bit of a debate in the comments. This is going to be like the question of the day. If we win the FA Cup and finish in top 4, which I do think we will do, because of Everton's last few games, they're going to be tough. I think they will drop points. Do you think that this has been an improvement on last year? Do you think that Arsenal have had a better season? Let me know in the comments below. Arteta's coming on for Oxlade, and that means we're losing our pace. Wenger, what you doing, son? What are you doing? But hopefully we're going to grab another goal in a minute here. So another thing I wanted to discuss, guys, is there has been some, well-known people out there, some famous footballers and celebrities who support Arsenal, for example, and they have said that they would rather Arsenal won the FA Cup and, if they had to choose between finishing top 4 or the FA Cup, they would choose the FA Cup over finishing top 4. And I wanted this to be a discussion as well, because I love reading through the comments, especially from you Arsenal fans, and the neutrals' perspective as well. Would you, if your club was in Arsenal's position, would you take an FA Cup when you haven't won a league, won a cup in 9 years, any trophies whatsoever? Would you take that over finishing top 4? Being out of the Champions League for a season just to have a trophy. My heart says I really, really want that FA Cup, and I would almost say, yeah, okay, let's have a season out of the Champions League. But my brain, which I'm afraid wins in this instance, we need Champions League football to build on our team. Why would anyone want to join Arsenal? We need to bring in world-class players, like more Ozils, right? How are we going to do that if we're not even in the Champions League? It just won't happen. So for me, it's definitely a must win the FA Cup and a must top 4. We have to. But if I was to give up one, I would give up the FA Cup, because we can potentially improve the squad this summer and do even better next year. And maybe the FA Cup will win it then. I see a through ball, get it through to Rosicky. What are you doing, Arteta? Anyway, we're moving on into the last 10 minutes of this game now. Hopefully we're going to grab a goal, because I've got to say this second half has been pretty boring. But I wanted to talk about my prediction. Whenever I do a video like this, I like to talk about what I think is going to happen in the game. And I've got to say, obviously I've had predictions gone wrong. But actually, I haven't been too far out in most of my predictions this season. So I'm actually pretty happy to say I'm hoping that I'm going to get today's right. So I'm going to be going for an Arsenal 2-0. I think that the first half will be very nervy. I think we're going to be very edgy because of what happened at Goodison Park at Everton. But I do think, maybe towards the end of the first half or in the second half, obviously, we will grab 2 goals and we will comfortably win it in the end. Because I think there's going to be a lot of people watching this game, in a way, hoping Arsenal fail, especially all the neutrals and non-Arsenal supporters, because it would be kind of funny, right? It would be funny to them for Arsenal to fail. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think we'll prove everyone wrong. We will come back. Bit edgy in the first half, but in the second half we will win 2-0. But in this game, it's finished 1-0. Not a bad result. I would actually still take that. As long as we win tonight's game, I don't care. And Giroud gets the only goal of the game. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you're looking to buy some coins for your ultimate team, don't forget to check out thegamekeys.co.uk for an instant delivery within 3 seconds. Get yourself 5% off using MGH as a discount code. And I'll be back tomorrow, guys, for some Man United career mode.